Who is the most overrated person in history? Jack the Ripper. He only has 5 confirmed kills. Amateur hour. Yay, there's much more interesting killer cases out there, it's just that Jack paved the way in a weird way. You could even say he carved the path. With an almost surgical precision. The gruesome nature of his kills helped a little, I guess. Balto. Togo did the hard part. It kinda made me laugh that the Togo movie made Balto out to be kinda a glory thief. Like he was still just a dog, he didn't choose to steal the glory. Plus he ended up chained up outside a museum for the rest of his life, so Togo kinda got the better part of the deal. Wait, what was that last part? Sorts by controversial. I will meet you back here after I do. Edit, I am back, and it's people who don't know what the word overrated means. Saw a lot of political shit too. And a lot of Jesus. One guy said George Floyd and was downvoted to oblivion. Yay, that top thread was kinda wild. Half of the people here answering like Hop said the last 40 years. The last 40 years are overrated. The last 29 years are overrated. Source, I'm 29. Can confirm. Source, also 29. Greg in accounting. Ooh, look at me, I know math. Fuck off, Greg. We're cool though, right? Hell yay, Randall. You're one of the good ones. Fucking Greg, Heather from Our told me he has 1 strike on his file. Use that how you will. King Arthur. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. Say what you will, the man did amazing things with coconuts. Though, Camelot is still a silly place. It's only a model. Help him being oppressed. See the violence inherent in the system. King Tut. He didn't really do much, he was just a boy who unfortunately died young. We just happened to find his tomb and that made him famous, lol. The tomb itself, while amazing and much to learn from, is a result of his culture and the line he happened to be born into, not really anything he chose to do. He's famous because of how well his tomb was preserved, actually resulting from the dullness and short length of his life and reign. His obscurity and the relatively small size of his tomb are actually what kept it hidden while other tombs were excavated or robbed. Also the whole Curse of King Tut stuff, which is fun, but crap. Wait a second, you're telling me there's no such thing as curses? The fact that we're talking about the entirety of history and people are bringing up the Kardashians is kinda concerning, tbh. The rest of history just can't keep up with them. I politely but firmly invite you to leave. Oh, God. Did he want his steak well done too? I like my steaks sloppy. Sloppy steaks. Paul Revere. He was much less important in the Revolutionary War than most people think. There are more obscure patriots from his time that did more for America than him. Overall, one of those people who isn't bad but gets way too much credit. The only reason he is so well known is because his name was more rhymable. Removed. Some URL. Well damn. Holy crap, I even upvoted it too. Hey everybody, this guy's a big fat phony. Charles Manson can, for all intents and purposes, eat a dick. First of all, he wasn't some criminal serial killer mastermind. He was a slighted drug-addicted hippie with a god complex. He may have had followers and instructed them to kill, but it wasn't part of some grand design. First of all, to the uninitiated, Manson didn't actually kill anyone himself. Since I learned that, it kind of shatters the serial killer boogeyman image he has. Tex Watson was his lieutenant who was in person in charge of the Tate and LaBianca murders. The Manson family didn't have the highest kills of any serial killer, nor were they as violent as other murderers like Dahmer, Norris, and Bittaker, or Albert Fish. While the Mansons did get notoriety from killing actress Sharon Tate, she wasn't even the real target. Charlie had been to 10,050 Cello Drive before to pitch a record deal that failed. Since, Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate had bought the house. So it was effectively random. The others killed by the Mansons, the LaBiancas, were middle-aged supermarket owners. Not exactly the kind of people in prime fighting shape. And yet Manson gets all the credit. To quote my wife, Charles Manson is a pussy boy. Too bad Rick Dalton wasn't there. Waldo. He has no discernible talents, fashion sense, or accomplishments. People should stop looking for him as they are giving him a god complex. Haven't been able to find him since 5th grade, huh? Dad? Nope, haven't found him either. Finding Waldo was fun, but then he just started dropping shit and I was supposed to find it for him? Get it together, Stripes. The Noid from Domino's commercials. He don't think he's successfully stolen a single pizza in 30 years. He also drove a man to take hostages, which is why Domino's retired him. Good riddance to that mascot, I say. Y'all clearly don't understand the concept of overrated. If everybody fucking hates the Kardashians, they're not overrated. Yeah, overrated is not the same as shouldn't be famous. For what it's worth, I think Christopher Columbus gets my vote for overrated. Kids think he's some explorer genius who was the only one that thought the world was round. When in actuality it was widely accepted the earth was round and he miscalculated the circumference, used the wrong estimate and should have died before reaching the Indies. But lucked out there was a continent, which he wasn't aware of, right where he'd normally have begun running out of supplies and starved. Fortunately in the last couple's decades his hype has been dying down. Also he poured boiling water down the throats of natives and raped and killed a lot of the women. He did really awful shit. After I read his wiki I've been literally appalled and disgusted he is celebrated at all. He was a fucking sadist. I don't know about most overrated, but Mao Zedong was a brilliant guerrilla leader who transitioned into be very good at retaining power while being very bad at running a country. I would not hang giant portraits of the guy all over my country. I'm pretty sure they have too, not want to bruh. I had a teacher who was a high schooler during the Cultural Revolution. She had loved Mao. She believed in Mao. She was a Red Guard and marched around singing songs about how great Mao was and really believed it. Most of them did. It was all she had been taught. Her horizons broadened. She eventually came to America and ended up teaching Chinese language and literature at my college. My point is, a lot of people sincerely believe in Mao the Great Helmsman. It's hard to escape the propaganda machine in a totalitarian dictatorship. John Lennon spoke about peace and love, then went home and beat his wife. Sure, he made some catchy tunes, but he was just an asshole. Yeah, his own son will agree with you on that. I love when people don't know the history of Hey Jude. Yeah, Paul wrote it for Julian because he felt bad for him, after his dad pretty much abandoned him. John even thought Paul wrote it for him, lol. Mississippi. Edit, shit, wrong thread. All the homies hate dog piss Mississippi. I literally was just reading the thread. I'm out of the loop on this. There was a thread asking what the worst state is. Every comment said Mississippi. That bloke who invented the wheel. I mean, there are lots of round things around. Dude just took a stone and made it rounder and suddenly everyone was like, ooh, look how intelligent he is forever. It's good his name was lost to history. No, it isn't. His name was We. The L was added later due to language changes. Native Americans didn't apply the concept of the wheel, they knew about it, and they were supposed to be on par with some of European tech fields, so I think it wasn't that obvious. A lot of things seem obvious once someone applies them, but before it's more like thinking outside the box. Gandhi. He didn't really win India freedom, World War II did. His support of the Khilafat movement gave a big boost to Muslim separatism in India. His agreement to partition resulted in 1 million deaths. His idea of self-sufficient villages resulted in India continuing to remain poor and backward and failing to industrialize. His promotion of Nehru over far more competent leaders in the Congress. I can go on. Edit. Lots of comments saying he was racist. Yes, but that was early in his life. He changed considerably later, and the Gandhi we know as Mahatma was not a racist. I agree that his non-violent movement didn't do much for independence, and it was other factors that made the British leave. Not in all history, but Chris McCandless was a fucking moron who does not deserve to be romanticized. Against all advice, he strolled out into the Alaskan wilderness with no idea what he was doing, with no map, underprepared, undersupplied, and with no research into seasonal dangers, smashed up some cabins, shot a moose despite not being able to preserve or store the meat, thought he could teach himself to identify edible wild mushrooms, didn't look beyond the river crossing he initially used where he would have found a hand-operated cable car half a mile away, and died, probably from eating strange seeds, in an abandoned bus on a known hunting trail. And #X200B. He was not pioneering, or inspiring, or bold, or free. He was fucking stupid, and somehow this inspires people. There were so many issues with people getting into trouble, including 2 fatalities, trying to make it to the bus where it all happened, that the Alaska National Guard actually removed it last year. Some URL.